just am really proud of the collective effort from this group this weekend. They took care of business. They were firing in all cylinders. We had some tough competition, and they made a statement and really dominated the weekend. Just proud of the poise, proud of the competitiveness. We had a tough field. South Florida is tough. They're a really gritty team. And I'm just really proud of our team. On to the next.
Questions for the student athletes. Ethan, go ahead.
Yeah, Kennedy, of course, you had the big home run that kind of broke things open. Just can you walk me through that at bat, maybe what you were sitting on, and how did it feel, to get that home run in front of this crowd?
Well, it actually felt good to finally get something on the ground, and well, not even on the ground, but out, and that I wasn't out. But it felt really good. I mean, just throughout the whole at bat, I just really trusted myself, and Coach Gasso and I have just kind of talked about a couple things recently, and so for it to finally get out of the park was really good.
I feel like you have maybe the loudest one-hit weekend in a long time. You just had so many that hit right at people. What's your mentality when you know that you're making good contact, even if it's resulting in an out?
I have to keep smiling and laughing, and that way I don't get in my head too much. But I know that it's all part of the game, and my main goal when I get up to bat is to get a hard hit. So, no, it's not an official hit in the books, but at that point I know that I won the at bat, and that's all that I ultimately am thinking about. So.
Saylor, of course, your first inning, you gotten a lot of 3-ball counts and you got out of it. And then did that inning maybe set up the rest of your appearance?
Yeah, I think if I can get through the first inning, then I can get through any other inning. And just knowing that I was able to come back from those 3-ball counts, just really gave me the confidence to just go out the rest of the game and just continue to fight.
Yeah, was there anything you could take maybe from yesterday, being able to come back out today?
Yeah, I think yesterday I didn't feel the best, but I also did well. So I think that also gave me confidence, knowing that I felt better today and just really just pounding the strike zone and going for every pitch.
Kennedy, on the double play that you guys turned in the second inning, what was your perspective of that, and how big did you feel like that was to the offensive rally that you were able to put together in the bottom of the inning?
Yeah, I mean, there was not a doubt in my mind that they weren't going to get it. Right when it was hit to Tal, I knew that it was going to be a double play, and it was going to be another one to add to the book. So I was really excited, and I love watching them turn the double play every time.
Yours isn't working.
Kenny, I think after your home run, you and Reagan maybe had a conversation at the plate or shared a laugh. Can you share with us maybe what you guys discussed?
That it finally fell. That was pretty much it. That one finally fell, because I think that was kind of the not heated question, but kind of in a sense throughout the weekend that I had a couple of hard hits, and I don't even know how many actually it was, but I think you could probably tell, especially after the home run on my next at bat, I kind of threw my hands up like, well, what the heck? But like I said, I know that it's all part of the game. So.
Your coach mentioned making a statement this weekend, 3 run rule victories. Was there any motivation to kind of finish off that statement today, leave no doubt and kind of keep the momentum that you had built through the first 2 days? Yeah, absolutely. Just exactly what you said. Leave no doubt, and just honestly taking it one day at a time. Not getting too ahead of ourselves and being completely present in the moment was the main thing.
Kennedy, the Elephants, I think 5 of the first 7 runs came on 2 outs. Was there a different mentality with 2 outs? Why you guys are able to extend innings and ultimately, down 1-0, all of a sudden it's 4-1 and scoring with 2 outs? Yeah, honestly, as long as we have an out, we can do anything, and as long as we have a strike is what Gasso always says, we can do anything. So I think that, yes, it seems like it might change something, but ultimately for us as hitters, it doesn't change anything because we still have a single strike, and that's all that matters. And Saylor, kind of your first time pitching in this postseason atmosphere here at Bogle Park, what was it like this weekend?
It's just super incredible. You dream of playing in an environment like this, and just to look around and see how many people care about Arkansas softball and the chemistry and the team connection and the winning culture that we've built. It's just super awesome to see.
This question for either of the players. Third straight game that coaches come out and said you guys had a collective effort, and you could see that when you watch the game. Just what's been the key for you guys to be dialed in for both sides of the ball?
Yeah. I think just throughout the season a lot we were tested in a lot of different ways, and just really sticking true to ourselves, and we know that our pitching staff has it, and we know that our offense has it. So for it to finally, fire on all cylinders, not that it hasn't throughout the season, but just like you said, 3 run rule victories is a big deal, especially in regionals. So it felt really good.
I think as a freshman, you have to come in and be fearless. I haven't been in this position before, and, you just have to wake up one day and say, heck yeah, I'm going to go for it and just throw the ball as hard as I can and spin it as hard as I can. And just also trust the girls that have done this before me. I know we've had multiple girls go to the World Series for different teams, and they know how to get it done, and it's awesome learning from them and following them in their footsteps.
And then my next question, a little bit more for Kennedy. The USF coach talked about how special you guys' lineup is and the depth. Just what do you think makes his lineup so special? You guys just consistently get people on and then make the big plays.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's the depth and also just a pass the bat mentality. That is something that I think is really big. And going back to one of the previous questions about, as long as we have a strike, that's what we really pride ourselves on. And so there's not a question in anybody in this lineup, and that anybody can do anything, whether it's Reagan Johnson hitting a home run. Like, honestly, it could happen, and I don't have a doubt. So that's the biggest thing. Is just, we know that we all have everything that we need.
Kennedy, the team looked really loose in all three of the games, and in all of them you're up by 3 or more runs by the end of the second inning. How much do you think those quick starts help just maybe take, I don't know if pressure is the right word, off, but
Yeah.
just play loose throughout the rest of the
Yeah,
game?
I think it does help tremendously. Also, just for our pitchers and our pitching staff being able to hold the other teams to minimal runs helps also. But yeah, just I think us playing loosely is. I don't think there's like a right or wrong way how to play loose or like a definition of how to play loose. But I think it's just the love of the game and just having fun and knowing that ultimately it is still a game, and coming back to that kind of helps.
Do we have anything on Zoom for the student athletes? All right. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay, questions for Coach Deifel. Matt, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Coach, it seemed like Italia Rijo was a real difference maker defensively today. And then, she had I thought she had 2 big plays in the second. She started the double play, and she had that RBI double. I just wonder what you thought her impact was in that inning in particular.
Well, her impact was huge. That top of the second was huge for us because they got the bases loaded with no outs, and when you can play back so confidently, knowing a ground ball, you're gonna create 2 outs, and you just get it in the hands of our middles. Our middles are so rock solid, and we got the ball at exactly what we wanted, and they turned it just like they have been all year. But Tal has been. That's what she's done for us all year. She's made really big plays. She's so steady, but she makes those flashy plays look routine. Like, we don't take them for granted, but you don't realize how much ground she's covering and the reads she's getting. And she is just so good out there, and today was no different.
They scored a run on that double play, but it really felt like momentum shifted right there. And then obviously you guys were able to take advantage of it in the bottom. How did it feel from the dugout?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we know that we're going to score. And so when you can minimize the damage and just say, hey, we can trade a run, we know we're going to get that back. If we can get 2 outs, that's going to be huge to get the momentum back. And then it worked out really well.
I know you're never going to play perfect, but could it have gone much better for you than 3 run rule victories in a regional?
I don't think so. I don't think so. We'll take it.
Coach, I was going to say, I know you guys are used to playing teams on back-to-back days, but what was the challenge of facing South Florida, again in this regional today, and how do you feel like you guys did in executing it?
Well, I thought we executed really well. They're a really tough, hard-nosed, gritty team, and you could see that it jumps out at off of video at you, and so we knew that they were going to be really fiery yesterday, and then you saw it play out. We just hoped that they'd play a long time and maybe be a little bit more tired today, but they're not. They just play hard. They too have just a lot of competitive energy, chemistry, and so they're really fun to watch. They play the game the right way, and so for us, it was just executing and focusing on our side, and we felt like if we could get some runs the way that we pitch and defend, we were going to be really tough to beat.
Yeah, Coach, the second inning, all the runs came on 2 outs. I think 5 of 6 runs today on 2 outs. Just what does it say about the lineup that they're willing to battle and fight even if there's 1 strike left, about how deep this team is?
Yeah, they just have so much confidence, and they don't flinch. They don't flinch over the circumstance, and I don't honestly think it's even in their mind to think oh, there's 2 outs or that it's a different situation. But that 2-out rally was so big, and it started with Katie. Katie had a heck of an at-bat, and she drilled the changeup to right center, and then Tal goes first pitch, and then Wiki, you want to get in there, you want to hit, and she just was so disciplined and took her walk, which she did a tremendous job of all weekend. And then Ken finally gets one to fall. I'm with you, Ethan. I think she had the loudest one hit weekend that I've seen in a really long time, and she just took it like a champ. She just kept taking her hacks, and so it was really great to see her come through in that moment. But that was the swing. I think the momentum of just giving up one in that situation and then capitalizing in the bottom and the response. Every time they scored, we responded with 4 runs. I think that's a pretty good response. We should just do that every time, you know?
Coach Erickson just said he's going to have nightmares about Brinley and Ella in particular, but then he went on to just talk about your whole lineup. Just what makes this lineup so good top to bottom?
They all have a lot of different tools. They all have a really good sense of who they are, and they all have a ton of confidence and trust in the rest of the lineup. And so when you have all those things, you get to just play with a lot of freedom, and it doesn't all fall on one person. You know, we've had lineups in the past where it's like, dang, if you don't get it done here, it's like we got to wait. No, like we can generate runs, we can generate rallies at any point. We could hit the ball out at any point. I don't know about Reagan Johnson, like what Ken said, but we just have a really potent lineup, and it's a combination of all those things.
Yeah. Saylor, first inning, gotten a lot of 3-ball counts, and something changed from your puck calling pitches standpoint. What got sharper?
Excuse me. Wow. I think she just really focused in on spinning it through the zone. I think that's where we've seen her maturity and her development through the course of this year. Is earlier that inning could kind of go off the rails, and that's not who she is anymore. She's ready for the moment. She could work through that process and kind of see where she was missing and adjusted. So each time it got a little better, and then she just really started drilling the zone and trusting her spin. She has elite spin, and so one of the big things is just getting her to really trust it over the plate. The zones are tighter in college than what she's used to, but her break is so elite. It's just getting her to trust it, and with the defense behind her, why not?
I mean, I don't remember a regional that y'all gotten out of where, your ace through 4 innings through a regional. Just what do you think about the way that this pitching staff was able to navigate through 3 days?
Well, it's really deep, and it's deep beyond those 3. But we have a lot of trust. I was asked in my in-game interview just about Peyton and that change. It's like Peyton didn't really feel like herself today, of just like her usual command that she has, and so why make her labor when we have 2 exceptional fresh arms that are ready to go? And just to have that option and know, like, we get to pass the ball to Say, and she's going to be ready to go, and we still have Rob. You never know. I mean, I have a lot of confidence in us holding leads, but postseason's crazy, and so just knowing that we had those 3 ready, we have confidence in those 3 and beyond. It was a really good feeling going into today.
And then just the last question is Saylor, that Texas series, it just felt like such a big game for her, a big moment. How much do you think that seeing her perform in that situation made it to where, back-to-back days regional, you put her out there as a freshman to finish things off?
Yeah, she wants the moment, and she's comfortable in the moment. And we saw that in our crazy Saturday game in Alabama, and we saw her elevate, and just like her mentality, like she's here for it, like she wants it. And you can see in those big moments that she elevates, and she has this competitive like spark to her of just loving the competition and loving being out there. And we're continuing to see her get more and more comfortable in that, and it's been really fun to watch that progression.
What do you think you guys can particularly take away from this specific win in the tournament, where you still run-rolled them, but you had to respond, and you guys kind of always had a response for their runs as well?
Yeah, I think it's easy to look from the outside in and look and like, oh, it was 3 run roll wins. It was easy. Were they tested? Because yeah, we were. Like we got punched first today, and sometimes when you have something on the line, sometimes that can make you tighter. It didn't. And they just responded. It was just like, okay, well, that's fine. We're going to score. And just this, that's what I keep saying about this team doesn't flinch. It doesn't matter. They're ready. They're going to respond. If it goes as expected, great. If not, we're gonna we're going to face that and move through it together, and that's what we saw through the weekend.
Kind of piggybacking off that, Saylor mentioned she has to be fearless as a freshman, but it seems like that mentality is throughout the entire roster. Is that something you noticed preseason? It developed as the year went along to just have that fearless, confident mentality to respond to things?
Yeah, they just have a really good sense of who they are, and I think that's, a lot of when I say they're so businesslike. They know who they are. They show up and they just take care of business, and that's their standard of play. That's their standard of their approach. And meeting that every day, and that is going for it. It is going for it and trusting who you are, knowing who you are, and then trusting that in the moment and knowing that you've put the prep in for you to just excel in that moment and let yourself, compete. And so, yeah, I do think it hasn't been a straight line for this group, but they've continued to grind and they're finding their best version now.
As a coach, do you get a sense of relief when Kennedy hits that home run, and you can see the relief from her of not getting out for once in the weekend?
Well, I just love when anybody hits a home run because on our side, because they work their tails off for it, and for her to have such a level mentality with not getting the breaks of how she was swinging it this weekend, it just shows so much composure. And she just stayed the course and continued to take just really good hacks at balls. And so it was really good for that to happen in that moment. And just with that, the shift of them going up and then us scoring one, and then she gets up with two runners on and hits the 3-run. It was just really fun to see her break through there.
Yeah, Coach, next up, Super Regionals. Just what do you want to see from the team over the next couple of days, preparation-wise, so that you guys are playing loose, kind of like you did this week, next week, to try to get to OKC?
I want them to enjoy this today and see who we play. I want them to rest because they've earned that, and we'll start working on whoever we line up with. And they're so intentional about their work, so I want to see and I expect to see what we've seen from them all year is just really diving into the prep, being really mindful about their bodies and making those great choices and just being really intentional about every rep we take.
The question coming into the year from a lot of people was, how would you make up for the power production of Bree and Courtney Day? Today's Kennedy's home run put y'all past last year's total. Just what has it taken to get that power this year?
Just exerting their will, knowing what they're hunting and going for it. In so many ways, it feels like our offense have been so much more productive, not necessarily with the long ball. But it's there, obviously, and it's more than last year. And I think that when you have it scattered throughout and everybody kind of picked up a little bit of what we lost with those two, it just more so feels like it's just so strong throughout, and the ability to put the ball out in any part of the order is just really tough to pitch to.
Speaking on that, just as somebody who faces a lot of offenses, the pitch caller, just what does that do whenever you have a lineup that the home runs really can come in a lot of different spots?
Well, what do you mean?
As far as whenever there's not just two in the lineup stacked that have the power.
When I'm calling pitches,
when you're calling pitches,
like that,
when you have a lineup that you're facing that has
when you're
home run power.
facing a lineup like that, you can't make mistakes, and you know that you got to be pretty dialed on your spin and your location because one swing can change the game, and it can change your mentality on the other side of just feeling like you have to be perfect or feeling like you have to place it just so, and it, maybe that's what the other teams are thinking when they're facing our team. When I have to call pitches against us in practice, it's not fun, I'll tell you that. But it is. It's it's tough. You feel like you have to thread a needle because there's just so much damage that could be done 1 through 9, 1 through 10.
What does it mean to get a super regional here again?
It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm really proud of our team for playing themselves into this position, the schedule we put together, the how they battled through that schedule all year, and then just take care of business this weekend. And they moved through the weekend like that's the expectation, and that's when you look and they're like, yeah, they're elite with what they do. Is they showed up, and that was the expectation with everything that they did. And so it's awesome to get another weekend in Bogle. Our fans are incredible. They showed up for us all 3 days, even with the weather on Friday night. And so to get another opportunity to play in front of them is really cool.
Coach Erickson was talking about just the growth of your program and about how he felt like the program took on a lot of your identity. I know as a coach, you can get so forward focused all the time when recruiting and the next game coming up. Do you ever let yourself just kind of reflect on where the program was, and now you've gotten to the point where not only are you in super regionals, but I mean you're hosting them just about every year, it feels like.
I don't think I reflect on it very much. I feel like we're so beyond, like we're so far from that, that it seems like another life ago of what the program was and when we got here. And it's interesting because I do get that question a lot. It was 11 years ago, and so it's crazy because now what these players grew up watching and what our recruits grew up watching is this Arkansas product. You know, like they have to they're like, wait, you guys weren't good? Like, 10, 11 years ago? It's like, no, this is an elite program. And it's amazing to see the commitment from our student athletes before it was this, and then for them to just want to be a part of this culture and want to be a part of this fan base and play at this stadium and just completely go all in for this program. It's everything. It's everything. And I'm just really proud of where we are, but I'm proud of how we did it and who we were. Like, we will never sacrifice that or compromise that. And so, we do it the right way. We play the game the right way. And I'm just really proud of everyone that we brought into our program.
Anything on Zoom for Coach Deifel? All right, thanks.
Thank you.